artist, designer Jerry Thibault. Our project manager of strategy builders, Eric Aragon. And Bright View Landscaping, Oscar Solis Jr. And right now, to give you a brief history of, starting from the memorial wall, which you know is over here, the Reverend Carolyn Owen Toll.
The beginnings of our beautiful original memorial wall, sacred in the hearts of so many, began in both pain and triumph. Rhoda Lopez designed the wall, and she and Jerry Thibault were making great progress on it, probably about a third of the way through, when Rhoda contracted a rare form of very serious cancer. To preserve what they had thus far created, Jerry draped the wall in blankets, in wet blankets. When Rhoda recovered, they went back to continue working at creating the wall. However, by the time she could work again, the clay had completely dried out, all of it. Jerry and she had to continuously water the work down, and Jerry literally pummeled it back into working order. The wall was dedicated with great honor on Easter 1979, within Tom's and my first year of ministry here. At the 11th hour, questions arose about the place to which the memorial wall was intended to be mounted, which was this wall right here behind the church, for one would not be able to stand far enough away to see it without falling off the cliff. Once people began to anticipate the wall's arrival, many felt that the wall should instead be placed around the corner here in the patio, where you all see it. Of course, you might imagine there was a vocal minority that felt shocked at the idea that one would be daily reminded of death, or it would be depressing rather than inspiring. The patio supporters won out. Clearly, you can see that this edifice, instead of death, represents beauty and life and loving and grateful memories, as well as anticipation that those who have so chosen will one day have their names on it. Thank you.
Continuing with Carolyn's story, as you know, when you observe the wall, you will see 3 trees as part of the design of the wall. And these trees have, beside one of the trees, the third one, in fact, from the left, is a saying or a quote from Isaiah. And the end of the quote, thank you, a little shortness there. The end of the quote says, "And all the leaves of the trees in the field shall clap their hands." The theme of that wall over there is the tree of life. And the tree of life is us and also our lives and our relationship to all living things, which is really critical. And I think that, the fact that we've been able to incorporate water, we've been able to incorporate, which was already there, of course, but also the landscape, the beautiful landscape that we now have, shows us that we are among all these plants. We depend on all of these plants to keep us alive, as we know. And everything of the earth, literally chemicals of the earth, iron, niacin, is all part of our body. We also are from the earth. So the next series, the one I'm responsible for here, the theme is called the River of Life. The flow of life as we see it as individuals or among our friends. So the first element that you're going to see in the design, and you can see on these beautiful reproductions, is you can see a flowing line which is representing water. And there's another line which is more jagged, as are all of these forms. And I did that purposely because that's the landscape or the environment we live in. As you look around, there are angles, there are valleys in the shapes of the walls, as well as bases. So this is where we live. So I wanted to have that as part of our landscape to make it work. I've had openings so you can see things like that beautiful tree right out through there. You get a nice view of the tree. And I'm also going to do with you, everybody should be able to participate. I want to create a river of life through this form, from this stone to your right and in front of you. We'll have a swirling river cut into the hardscape and leading to Jim's fountain. And what it will consist of is bricks that you will make. We will have my students here, and they will help you. You'll make bricks. We will take photographs so you can find them in this river of life when they're all complete. And it makes it part of your community, and I think that it's a good idea to have you participate in it too, because these are the people you know, this is your fellowship. And so just to give you an idea, this is just a textural element, but there'll be different colors of clay. They'll be very thick. We will make the bricks in general for you, and you will texture them. So these will create this river, and when we're done, you can come and look at this, another project that I had that shows you the kinds of bricks in place. So the walls are going to echo the valleys and the hills in our environment, and we're going to also have another element in the walls. And if you look at the older wall, you're going to see some flowing raised lines in the textured section, not of the plaque, but the textured section. And this is a thick line that swirls and moves, and it's representing the wind. And the wind is going to continue through every single project, and what the wind represents is the passage of time. So this is all representing us and our lives and our relationship to the earth. And on the first wall right here, which of course will be the first wall we do, this is a transition wall. And it will start with, as the Isaiah poem, we're going to have either poetry or some other words on each of the walls, as the Isaiah wall has, and to give you a sub-theme for that particular wall. So I've written something for this wall, and it's going to be engraved on it. And the first statement will be, bound together in the continuum of life, these structures old and new, these sculptures old and new, these friendships old and new. We are all part of the river of life flowing towards the eternal sea. So that will be written on that wall. And Robbie will read to you the other text for each of the other walls. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. And I'd like to introduce our next speaker, who really needs no introduction, but I think we have some people who may not know her here. But our lead minister, the Reverend Kathleen Owens.
What a wonderful day. I want to say a particular thank you to Oscar. You need to look behind the wall into the canyon area to see the beautiful, well-chosen plants and flowers that make both sides of this garden nourishing and beautiful for all to see wherever you are. I also want to thank Eric for your wonderful management of this project, because not only did this come into being, that it was imperative for the lay committee that worked with Robbie and Eric to ensure that our chapel drainage issues would be fixed when we created this garden. We last week had a pretty intense rain, and I want to say the chapel did not flood. The water stayed where it should stay, and that's because of Eric, all that you did in your careful management. So thank you. want to name Ed and Betty Law. Ed and Betty had a vision for this piece of dirt that was bare and unused. And he talked about it, and as a newer lead, I had a lot more things on my plate than to think about this. But he persisted, and he shared his vision. And today, because of his vision, because of Ed and Betty's generous donation that started this campaign, we are here in beauty and holding them close to our hearts. He inspired many of you to also contribute financially to see this day here. And I want to thank you for making this possible. There are too many donors to name, but your names will be on bricks on one of the backs of the walls so that you are remembered specifically. And if you haven't yet given, you still have an opportunity, because we are going to continue to beautify and make this what you see on the pictures hanging on each wall. This garden is about celebrating the lives of our beloveds, those that we honor in our Wheel of Life service every Easter Sunday. This garden is close. This new garden makes room for more of us. It connects us in memory. It connects us in hope, because we have now space for 1,000 more names, which holds out the hope and the expectation of this ever-growing and expanding community, that we will be remembered by the children of our children when they are in this place, adding more names, reminding themselves of the poetry, and those of us present on this day. This is a real act of hope and expectation for the future. I am so excited about the River of Life that you will create with Jerry and his students. The first wall will take a year to clay, and that's okay, because we're going to be busy creating the River of Life. We will and do expect to put more names up every Easter Sunday. I want to now invite Diana and Joe, representing Ed and Betty Law, whose vision and generosity kicked us off. I also want to invite John and Peggy Hall, representing the many donors from this congregation who have contributed to cut our ribbon to officially dedicate and open this new memorial garden. We have big scissors that will actually cut, so please come forward. With joy and excitement, with thanksgiving, we open this memorial garden. Thank you so much for coming. And Robbie has a few closing words so that you can learn more about this garden and the beauty that it already has and will continue to flourish.
So I thought for our closing words, after I thank you so much for being here today, and me being the money person that I am, we still need to raise almost $60,000. So thank you for those who have given, and spread the word to your friends and family who may not have given yet. Thank you. So I thought for our closing words, I would read the words from the rest of the walls because they're very wonderful. For wall, again, this is wall number 1, but for wall number 2 right here, and you can see the art, you can look at it closer. To live in this world, you must be able to do 3 things. To love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go. Wonderful words by Mary Oliver. Wall number 3, right over there, right behind Reverend Tom Owenthal. In mystery we are born, in mystery we live, and in mystery we die. We hear those words every Easter service and beyond. Wall number 4, which is right behind Amy and Joanne back there, I think it's the tallest wall. Out of the soil of boundless friendship grows the beautiful bloom of compassion, to be watered by tears of joy under the cool shade of the tree of equanimity. Wall number 5 is the one that's against the narthex wall there. And it's just the first sentence of our aspiration. May love be the spirit of this church. No truer words. And this is a saying on wall number 6, which is right here in front of me. This is from Rumi, translation by Boyne and Barks. The light of reason, the warmth of community with the flame of hope. Resting in mystery, inside the great mystery that is, we don't really own anything. What is this competition we feel then, before we go, one at a time, through the same gate? Again, thank you so much for coming. Let's give a round of applause for every one of you and the people up here that made this happen. We're so grateful. Also, thank you. Also, I do want to say, I had a brilliant idea that all of these renderings will be weatherproofed and permanently installed on each wall, because these walls will take few more years to come to fruition, but they will be here forever for everyone to know what's going to be on those walls. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And we're